how's it going, PG? You're the afternoon step with Josie. And of course, I've got more good hits lined up for you, so stay tuned for that. But right now, check this song out, man. It's Golden City coming at you, doing the Amity K, Ready for Your Love, right here on Today FM.
I'm ready for the start of something new. I'm ready for your love. I'm ready for your love. I'm ready for your love.
Fiji, I'm Josie, your host on the Afternoon Snap, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Hit Music.
I'm ready for my hands to touch the sky.
In this bulletin, fuel price drop kicks in from midnight. Government clears the air on telecast of Parliament proceedings. And Fires Koya says he has big shoes to fill in Parliament. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Fuel prices drop across the board from midnight. Trade Minister Fires Koya made the announcement this afternoon based on the latest quarterly review. Chanel Sivan reports.
When you fill up your car tomorrow or buy cooking gas, expect some savings.
2 consecutive reductions that we've got across the board. A lot of the sectors are actually going to benefit: the transport, private motorists, transport industry operators, with respect to diesel, even maritime people. So, yes, wonderful news. The reason, obviously, is because of the summer in Europe. It filters through to us.
The price of motor spirit will fall 3 cents from $2.60 to $2.57 a litre. The cost of premixed fuel comes down 5 cents from $2.53 to $2.48, while kerosene will cost $1.78 a litre. A litre of diesel will cost $2.26, a decline of 5 cents from $2.31.
Just something more positive. I think we're working with the Finance Ministry at the moment to follow the lead of Mauritius with respect to bulk fuel purchase, etc. That will be also good news for the consumers once we get that into train. But looking forward to all of that too.
The Minister for Industry and Trade, Fayaz Koya, adds that bulk buying will make Fiji less vulnerable to fuel price fluctuations and in turn protect consumers. There are also reductions in the price of liquid petroleum gas. A 4.5 kilogram cylinder will cost 21 cents less, dropping from $16.86 to $16.67. The cost of 12 kg cylinder reduces by 53 cents from $44.97 to $44.44. And bulk LPG falls by 4 cents a litre from $3.02 to $2.98. Autogas has decreased by 2 cents from $2.11 to $2.09. The next fuel price review is in January. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Minister for Industry, Trade and Tourism Fires Koya says there's a lot of work ahead of him as he begins a 4-year term in his portfolio. The son of former NFP and opposition leader Siddiq Koya, Fires Koya says he'll work to honour his father's memory. Akosita Tale reports Koya has promised to wear a bow tie at every parliament sitting.
Fayaz Koya says his distinctive bow ties are a reminder of his father and that he is in parliament to serve all Fijians. He's already got his sights on improvements, removing the lengthy approval processes which remain an obstacle for potential investors.
To establish an online investment registration and approval system. This will create a single application form for potential investors to get approval from all the first-tier agencies in one simple step.
Koya adds a priority for the Ministry of Industry and Trade is to have the trade policy framework endorsed by Cabinet immediately.
The document spells out government's long-term vision for Fiji's priority sectors and sets targets and timelines. It explains Fiji's stance towards key bilateral, regional and multilateral trade agreements, and it articulates a detailed development agenda focused on expanding trading opportunities,
Securing new markets for Fijian-made goods and services will depend on bilateral and multilateral trade agreements, such as the PACP's Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA with the European Union, the Melanesian Spearhead Group Trade Agreement, and PESA Plus.
Due to Fiji's economic importance and position in the region, our neighbors have invited us back into the PESA Plus negotiations. And I plan to lead these negotiations with Fiji's and the region's best interests at heart. I will ensure that we enter PESA Plus negotiations on our own terms as equal parties.
The minister ended his parliamentary address by saying it's crucial Fiji and the Pacific secure long-term benefits from Australia and New Zealand, which have been conspicuously absent from PESA Plus talks. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
The Ministry of Communications has set the record straight. Any broadcaster can access Parliament proceedings for telecast. This comes after MPs stated in Parliament that only FBC TV has been given permission to televise debates. Ellen Stolz has the story.
Sodelpa frontbencher Ratunaingama Lalambalavu used his first parliamentary address to call for an inquiry as to why only FBC TV was airing parliamentary proceedings.
And especially in this august house, only FBC can broadcast the proceedings. And why is this? How was this decision made and who made this decision? And if there's to be any credibility in His Excellency's reference to of his government's measures on a fairer and a more equal society, then why have 2 of our 3 TV stations have been denied the opportunity to broadcast these proceedings?
It emerged that the MP did not have his facts right.
The statement made by the opposition member was wrong. FBC is not given any form of exclusivity. All television stations are free to take the feed from the parliamentary chambers. All they need to do is get permission from the Secretary General to Parliament.
Syed Qayyum also revealed the Parliament Secretariat had already given the green light for Fiji TV at least to have access to the proceedings.
There is also, I've cited a letter already that was sent by the Secretary General following a request by Fiji TV last week, letters dated on the 10th. Secretary General saying that it's okay for Fiji TV to take the feed.
FBC spoke to Ratunaingama outside Parliament. He says he was told by a reliable source that other television stations were denied access. He's asked for questions to be sent to him for a formal reply. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama isn't surprised by the comments coming out of the opposition.
So when we talk in Parliament, we talk on facts. We talk on issues that will move the nation forward. That's what we've been talking about in the last 3 weeks since His Excellency opened Parliament. But I was very disappointed in some of the statements that came out, but I also want to remind the people of what I was saying during my campaign days. If they lie to you during the campaign, they will lie to you in Parliament.
Following the development, FBC News also contacted MyTV chairman Justin Smith, who says they are also planning to air parliamentary debates.
Well, definitely we'll be making an approach to the Ministry of Information. We had requested a meeting, I had requested a meeting with the Ministry of Communication yesterday, Monday, to try and clear the air on a couple of issues. Unfortunately, the meeting has been postponed. So,
we've sent questions to Fiji TV's Chief Executive, Tevita Ngonelevu, late this afternoon. However, no response has been received. The Communications Minister says there is no impediment on Fiji TV or MyTV, but so far only FBC TV has made arrangements to televise Parliament. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
Foreign Minister Ratuinoke Kumbwambola has given positive feedback on Fiji's foreign relations. In his maiden speech in Parliament, Ratuinoke says, "We've come through hard times on the international stage and things are now falling into place."
Prime Minister.
Ratuinoke Kumbwambola says Fiji has proven critics wrong by upholding its roadmap and returning to democracy this year. He recalled a high-level meeting of the Pacific Island Forum Ministerial Contact Group 4 years ago, which shunned Fiji, saying it did not have confidence in Fiji's commitment to democracy.
The then Foreign Minister of Australia, Honourable Stephen Smith, came out very strongly and he said, Honourable Minister, I do not believe in your roadmap. that you will not have elections in 2014. And I responded by saying, Minister, I cannot help you if you cannot believe me.
Rato Inoke says the decision to forge deeper bilateral relationships with China and the Russian Federation were also questioned. He says Fiji's foreign policy of friends to all, enemy to none was the driving force. After the break, Shoeshine boys get a lesson in customer service.
Bula FM nambandua na serena iwan siningona ni batara ni sibiti ko weekend na diwa en na tini na miniti na may bakuriti ore bengrabe na nantang nongo kanda na dabati ko ni rona kaloko en ay kavende de bobli na tay wali ni may dabati ko na wani matakabo kan lib sarti ko na bisere talio ni na maka ndo batati ko may kine na kenan daw ro di kanamaki Bula binaka ayo salamilawa do bataki ya wana batara na wani dio na kaloko moni tiki na barumbuka en Bula FM nambandua en serena
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Local Government Minister Pravin Kumar has introduced changes to streamline the work of his ministry. Kumar told Parliament that he's given a directive for building permit applications to be processed and approved within 20 days, land subdivision application in 30 days, and rezoning applications within 45 days. He says local government regulations and procedures will be enhanced to favour economic growth in local economies.
These changes will be in effect from January 2015 in order to meet the required legislative and legal obligation. These changes will also be effected at the local municipal council level and will be a major boost to investment and economic activity.
As Housing Minister, Kumar says they're also looking at long-term leases for squatters on freehold, state and Itauke land with permission from landowners. The plea of Minister for Local Government Pravin Kumar Bala has been deferred to November 4th after he didn't appear in the Lautoka Magistrates Court this morning. This was the second time his plea has been deferred. Kumar's lawyer Shailen Krishna told the Magistrates Court his client was due to make his maiden speech in Parliament and was not able to travel to Lautoka. Bala is charged with causing death by dangerous driving. The former Special Administrator for Lautoka, Ba and Tavua, allegedly ran down 48-year-old Puna Chand at Tendamu near Lautoka last November. More than $1 million worth of money laundering has been detected in Fiji over the last 3 years. The Financial Intelligence Unit says this involved only 15 cases. Shireen Lata reports hundreds of thousands of dollars often go undetected.
Financial Intelligence Unit Director Razim Baksh says the 15 money laundering cases were complex, taking up huge amounts of resources and expertise.
While the number is small, one must realize that money laundering, proceeds of crime cases are very complex, and they use front companies, they use different bank accounts, they use various financial institutions, sometimes they use lawyers' trust accounts, they create shelf companies and establish bank accounts, and then they conduct financial transactions.
In a recent case, a person was charged for false pretense after he defrauded the Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority by lodging false VAT returns.
He convinced the Fiji Revenue and Customs Authority that these were genuine VAT refunds, and then FIRCA refunded $44,000 to the money launderer, the accused person, Manoj Kumar, and he laundered the money in his bank account.
Baksh is urging those in the private and public sectors and financial institutions to be more vigilant in reporting suspicious transactions. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
Shoeshine boys in Suva have been given the chance to hone their skills and offer better services so they can make a better living. The Rescue Mission Community Association and the Community Policing Unit are helping 9 Shoeshine boys.
As part of the assistance, 2 of these Shoeshine chairs will be placed in Suva City to provide a more comfortable and professional experience.
The long-term plan is to have the chairs in every location where the Shushan workers are stationed. So that is the long-term plan. But it will depend on the sponsors that we are going to approach for more chairs to be built.
Shushan boys have been taught customer service and the skills of providing professional service in a 2-day workshop. Most of these youth make a living from shining shoes, but have never had professional training.
This workshop helps us a lot to know when to do service to tourists, and secondly, how to entertain the public very well.
Trainer Eping Wanewai says these boys are lucky to have this opportunity. Customer service training in shoe shining isn't very common.
Now, by providing the proper training, they started off as a shoe shine. They started off as a wheelbarrow boys. But giving them this opportunity, by providing them the right knowledge and also the skills.
Chairs like these are used around the world where shoe shining is more professional than what we have here. And to be getting this treatment just for cleaner shoes, paying $2 isn't much to ask for. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
That time again, Jamie joins you now with sports.
Good evening. After the break, fans turn out in numbers to welcome Gold Coast Sevens champions and Australia target 2014 Fanker tournament. Stay with us for the details.
यू ट्रेन से मिर्ची एफएम पर रफ्तार में मैं आपके हम सफर साथी कृष्णील शामिल हो चुका हूं और पीजी में विदेश में आप जहां कहीं पर भी हमें सुन रहे हैं कृष्णील का प्यार आप तमाम दोस्तों तक पहुंचे। हेलो गाइस, मैं हूं डीजे कृष्णील। आप हमें सुन सकते हैं मिर्ची एफएम रफ्तार में मंडे टू फ्राइडे शाम 3 से लेकर रात 7 तक हम आपको रॉक कराएंगे। मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट। अब दिल करता है हौले हौले से मैं तो खुद को गले लगा।
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens side arrived back home this morning. The boys were mobbed by eager fans at the Nandi International Airport, waiting to congratulate them for the Gold Coast Sevens victory. Josephine Navula reports.
The reception area at the airport was filled to capacity. People shaking hands with the players, taking pictures and seeing the Gold Coast Sevens trophy up close. Captain Osea Kolinisa was overwhelmed by the sight.
Yes, we're very happy. One thing we told the boys that it was Independence Day on Friday, and that one good gift we can give back to the country and the people is to win the tournament for them.
The team was then driven to the Raffles Gateway Resort where the sponsors joined in the celebration, and there was a little something to the players too, a $20,000 bonus check. Fiji Airways CEO Stefan Pichler commended the boys for their great effort.
You've made us terribly proud. We also try to carry the Fiji brand out in the world. We try to put Fiji on the global map. We try our best. You did the very best.
The players are on their way home now to celebrate with families and friends. Coach Ben Ryan is already looking ahead to the next tournament in Dubai come December.
Well, I said at the beginning of the tournament that whoever wins the first leg in this really important Olympic year is going to have just a bit more of a smile on their face than everyone else and a bit more confidence going into the rest of the year. So now it's all about holding on to that spot and making sure that we can put those performances in for the rest of the year.
Meanwhile, the Vodafone Fiji Sevens is currently leading the IRB World Series standings. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, coach Ben Ryan has stated his intent on claiming the 2014-15 IRB 7 Series title, and with an ultimate aim to qualify for the 2016 Olympics, knows that his squad will have to put in the hard yards to make this happen. Josephine Navula again.
After the big win at the Gold Coast Sevens, Ben Ryan is preparing to gear up for the next tournament.
Or they get the rest of the week to have some time off. I'll see the boys, the Oceania boys, I'll see them in the gym next week and do some stuff with them, and then we'll get into camp.
Running on to it is
As he prepares his tough training schedule, Ryan noted certain players stood out during last weekend's tournament.
Jerry played well, didn't he? You know, considering it was his first tournament. I thought Save, having picked him initially as a rover and then putting him on the wing, he had a very strong, powerful tournament. Ice Katoni Balgain, he played at prop and we played him mainly at rover. Setithano in the final shows that he still got it, hasn't he? And
the Fiji coach says he aims to finish each and every tournament on a high note.
Repeat, we want to win the World Series this year and we want to hit finals all the time, and that means dedication and sacrifice.
Meanwhile, Ryan confirms the boys will play their own clubs at the Coral Coast Sevens next month. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
Suva has credited its court's inter-district championship win on Sunday to teamwork. However, one man who stood out for the capital side at the IDC tournament was Napoleon Ngasivakatini. Rohit Deo caught up with the Whites forward earlier today.
It was a hard-fought final against Nandi, and that made the game all the more special for Napoleon Ngasivakatini. The former Nandi striker says scoring a goal in the final was an amazing feat.
I was really happy that I was scoring against my home team in the tournament. You know, it's give me hard feelings when I'm scoring against my home team.
Suva soccer officials also believe that the win might not have been possible without the deadly striker.
I'm really proud of him. I knew if he comes in join Suva, he will be starting scoring goals. And if you see his performance this year, he hasn't scored many goals for Nandi, but he just joined us for this IDC tournament, and within this tournament he scored 3 goals.
IDC victory celebrations will be held at Albert Park in Suva this Saturday. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The 2014 Fanka tournament kicks off tomorrow and will be played in the Southern Division for the first time. Australia has never won the tournament outside home ground, but with a strong squad this year, it's fancying its chances. Rohit Deo caught up with the team today at Albert Park.
Australia hasn't lifted the Fanka Trophy in a long time, but the team was never as strong as the one competing this year. It's laced with former Fiji district reps, and key player Esala Ali says they'll give the big guns a good run for their money.
Our team Australia we have 4 or 5 outside players who are very good, and we have lots of kids here like who are 18 and 19, and like we have like few experienced players like Samir and Betsy and other guys, and I hope we do well.
The Australians last won the tournament in 2006 when it was held in Sydney. There has been a lot of money spent on getting these players over, and for sure they want nothing less than a win. They have been craving for it for the past 8 years. Meanwhile, the Fiji team is calling on the southern fans to make the most of this opportunity.
We are expecting a good crowd at Nosori, and the weather is with us at the moment. People have come in, and all the Suva are staying in all the hotels, and they're all feeling at home because they have come back to their own country.
The tournament starts tomorrow at Nosori's Ratudakambau Park. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Assistant Minister for Sports Elias Ndelana used his maiden speech in Parliament to urge people with disabilities to persevere in life. Ndelana reflected on his own personal experience as an example of what every Fijian can achieve.
Everywhere I go in Fiji, I say the same thing. No matter what disability someone might have, it is no barrier to living a satisfying and meaningful life. I like to think that in all my public appearances, and especially at schools, I leave people thinking, well, if he can win a gold medal for high jump with one leg, anything is possible.
Ndelana added the ministry will improve sporting facilities around the country. That was your sports for tonight. Good evening.
The Biosecurity Authority of Fiji has assured that the export of fresh Fijian ginger to Australia will continue. Executive Chairman Xavier Riaz Khan says there hasn't been any pest of quarantine risks at the Australian border which may jeopardise the export. Khan says the discovery of roundworm or nematode is not a concern since it doesn't affect Australia's domestic industry. He says the roundworm is also found in Australian ginger. Fiji has exported 2 shipments of ginger to Australia so far. One was fumigated and treated in Fiji and the other in Australia. And the lovely Trish is here now with the weather.
Thanks, Jackie. Well, today's conditions was wet and gloomy. All major centers, Nani Lotogamba, the west and the north Lambasa and also Savasavu, also cloudy skies with rainfall all throughout the day. Now at today's temperatures, Suva 90 26, Lotogamba and Savasavu were all on 27, whereas the highest Lambasa hit 32. Tomorrow's forecast, Suva and Savasavu should expect fair conditions with occasional showers. The rest of the centers might have fine weather all day. For Mariners, southeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. This really amazing shot taken at the Suva Harbour sent in by Wilson Chow.
Thanks so much for that, Trish. Tonight's main points. Fuel price reduction across the board kicks in from midnight. Government clears the air that all TV companies have the freedom to air parliamentary proceedings. And Industry and Trade Minister Fayez Koya says he has big shoes to fill. We've resumed our weekly poll question. This week we're asking, will you be following the Parliament debates? Visit our FBC website to take part, www.fbc.com.fj. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's all from the news team for tonight. Join us again tomorrow evening at the same time. Till then, good evening.